The South Bronx, the borough that gave birth to hip-hop.
There's a militarized police department that is ready to attack the people. Young people have taken the streets, they've shut down the highway.
There's an understanding that when the planet wins, the people win too.
Don't stop. You don't stop. You don't stop.
Amor, justicia, hip hop, revoluciones.
Stop! Stop!
Here in Chicago, it's really important that we engage in campaigns that look at how much money and how many resources come out of our budget from CPD.
BYP100 demands a divestment from these systems that continue to dehumanize, shackle, and kill black people, and an immediate investment in black futures.
Right.
So we're working in a campaign to defund policing here in Chicago and nationwide, where the same issue exists from Milwaukee to New York City to New Orleans, all over the country. Because just in Chicago alone, CPD takes up about 40% of the budget for public services in this city. That's not right. It's not right when we're closing. Just a few years ago, over 50 public schools were closed. And over 90% of the students who were impacted by those public school closings were black students. And especially poor young people are impacted by police violence in this city. If you are a black person living in the city of Chicago, you are 17 times more likely to be stopped and ticketed or arrested for minor possession of marijuana. When we know that in the city of Chicago, people across all races use marijuana at about the same rate. And so that's a problem. And we know, especially in this moment, I can't not talk about the role of immigration enforcement in the city of Chicago and how that's connected to CPD. I have no doubt in my mind at all that they trade practices, that they trade information. And so what's happening across our communities, and even to black folks who are undocumented, all those things are connected. And so in us calling for a defunding of CPD, it's not just about CPD, it's about policing, period. Where people are surveilled, where people are detained, all those things. And there's a lot of power in that, because it's really about taking power out of policing. And if we're able to do that, the quality of life for the folks who are on the margins and the margins, folks who are technically citizens and people who are technically undocumented would benefit. None of us should feel unsafe riding down the street, whether the violence no matter where the violence comes from, and that we actually have an ability to build a society where if we take the resources that we put into policing, into schools, quality mental health care services, into job creation, if we were to just take 10% from CPD's budget, that would do wonders, right? We want way more than that, but if we were just to do that, right, we could actually create the kind of communities where poverty-driven violence that happens on the south side, the west side, and the north side of Chicago, those things can change.
We ready, we come, we ready, we come, we ready, we come, we ready, we come, we ready.
The prison industrial complex and the military industrial complex are connected, right? They look differently, they show up differently, but they're absolutely connected. And what we see happening in the Israeli occupation of Palestine is one that is absolutely fueled by American dollars. And how that military shows up are in ways that some of the ways that I saw firsthand. It means that you can't, in order to go to work, you gotta go through a checkpoint. If you work in another city or an adjacent area, you have to show your ID, you have to go through turnstiles that are too small for you. We saw this. There was a woman with her child in Ramallah, and she was going through the checkpoint in the evening one night. And the turnstiles are very, very narrow. And they basically herd people through them like cattle, as if they're cattle. And they only let a certain, the Israeli soldiers who are at the checkpoint, they only allow a certain amount of people through at a time. And so this Palestinian mother with her baby got stuck in the turnstile and had to wait until this Israeli soldier let her through. And so our struggle for Black liberation is absolutely tied to the struggle against the Israeli occupation, being led by Palestinians both on the land and Palestinians throughout the world. I think what's especially important is that what is happening in Palestine is also affecting East African migrants who live on that land, right? From forced sterilization of East African women. I saw firsthand how folks were treated like Black Palestinians there. And so the struggle is global. It's not limited to, a street corner in Chicago or West Florissant in Ferguson. What is happening to Black folks, what is happening to folks who are deemed outside of whiteness, it is a global issue.
The Bronx, BX, baby. From the Bronx to Ferguson, from Ferguson to ITOT Napa, St. Louis to the world. Yeah. Viva, viva Palestina. All day. Stand with Maduro. Fuck the ops. Let's get it. Yeah. Let's go. Shout out my boys, Rebel Diaz, Rodstar Gonzalo. Yeah. Business boy on the beat. Shout out everybody in Milwaukee. DJ Charlie Hustle. Yeah. Yeah. A ghetto soldier. My life is gifted to the dreamers. Cried so many times, my tears are wetter than Katrina. Haters and demons, crossbreeding through corrupted semen. Time travel like a light beam. I am a double helix, out of armor. A Spanish farmer with a prison shank for my youngest Wilder. Throwing water bottles at the tanks. Bullets fly from Ku Klux. Standing at the Texaco. Had me thinking like IoT Napa down in Mexico. Fighting like a pay-per-view. Boxer with a brolic arm. Marijuana stronger than a motherfucking car alarm. I toss a German Shepherd into the lake of fire. Extendo blunts, Cabela clips. For my attire, tell it low-key focus. My little nigga gotta hold your head. Fist up, fight back until they land me in the fist. Hunger pains in my stomach, worry me, I strategize. Armored trucks getting robbed by my fleeters in the mob. Yeah, it make me feel like Selena. Walking through the palace beam like a ballerina. My people say they love me, but they treat me like Selena. My people say they love me, but they treat me like Selena, like Selena, like Selena. My people say they love me, but they treat me like Selena. I got trouble on my mind, so they treat me like Selena. Shed tears for my mama, so they treat me like Selena. I am far from perfect, but beyond the surface. Set the grass on fire, cut the head off the serpent. Switch the sweet side, burn. We like it's Babylon. Young Malcolm ain't met NASA. When I rocket launch, had the tab of a lifetime hanging on my head. Crisco never got it from me, so I know you want me dead. Silver bullets made a nickel for my nickel back. 5 fingers of death to show you where I sickle at. Oprah on the phone, I got passes for the drone. The third eye, my bird's eye. Middle passes for the derm. I got Bin Laden money. You don't know me, don't applaud it. Shallow victims couldn't hit me, but my woe made me the target. In Oklahoma City, with the Nina in the cleaners. Raw papers rolled tight for the skull and bone. Reaper unify with my Mexicans. They love me like Selena. Ride or die for my Mexicans. I love them like Selena. POE, yeah, it make me feel like Selena. Walking through the baddest beam like a ballerina. My people say they love you, but they treat you like Selena. The people say they love you, but they treat you like Selena, like Selena, like Selena. The people say they love you, but they treat you like Selena. I got trouble on my mind, so they treat me like Selena. Shed tears for my mama, cause they treat me like Selena, like Selena. Yeah. Rooftop Live. Tempo. Peace out, y'all.